Hi, welcome to Frame and Fiber. In this video, I'm going to share with you the design process in framing a picture. So thanks for being here. Let's get into the video. I will introduce you to Carly and the artwork that she makes, and we will get to designing. I'll see you at the end.
Hey everybody, I'm Paige and I'd like to welcome you back to my channel. Today I'm here with Carly and we're going to be framing her artwork. So Carly, will you let everyone know a little bit about yourself and the artwork that I'll be framing for you?
Hi everybody, my name is Carly Murphy. I am a pressed flower artist in Virginia. I've been working with Paige for several years. She's been helping me out, helping me out with some glass for my artwork, which has been amazing. And I'm so excited to have sent her some of these little artworks that I made, my Four Seasons artwork, to be framed. Super excited.
I'm excited too. These are the originals, but you did prints of these, didn't you?
Yes, so these were originals that I had made to turn into cards that I sell in my online shop. So I sell them as a set of four, one for each season. And it's a design that I've been doing for about 4 years now, the Four Seasons design, whether sometimes I do it as one big artwork with all four together there, or four individual smaller artworks, one for each season. So I thought it would be fun to do as a card set, and it's one of my best sellers. And I decided, since I still had the originals on hand, I would love to have them framed so I can enjoy them at my house.
Oh, they're so pretty. They're so pretty in person. I love them.
Thank you.
So I will link to Carly's shop down below if any of you are interested to check it out. She has beautiful things in her shop. Now, does your shop, you're constantly having to update though, right? Because you sell originals out.
Yeah, so I added prints to my shop about a year and a half ago, but before that it was all originals, and it got to the point where they were selling out so quickly that usually my shop was empty. So now with the prints, those are available all the time. So if you're interested in something like that, you can always check those out. But I am still adding originals like the ones behind me in glass to hang on the wall, as well as some original paper artworks that I would base like a print artwork off of. I sell those sometimes in my shop too. So it's all just kind of fluid, things pop in and out, especially now that we're sort of self-isolating at home. I'm trying to keep it a little more low key. So I'm just kind of adding things here and there. And if people stumble across something cool in the shop, then that's awesome. It's not as stressful as trying to buy something when I do a big shop restock and things sell out in a couple minutes. So
right, in a couple of minutes. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it is crazy. It's such a rush when that happens. It's like on Etsy, the little cha-ching sound goes off on your phone. My phone is just like cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. It's crazy.
And you do custom work too. So you're just across the board busy.
Yeah, I do. I press flowers from people's weddings and other special events, and sometimes from funerals. So between Etsy shop and custom work, yeah, I stay pretty busy with pressing all the flowers.
And a side note, this is just my little story here. I don't know exactly how you and I got in touch. It had to do with glass on Etsy, I think, right?
Yeah, I think I found your shop that way when I was looking for some of the UV glass that you had in your shop.
So I guess like a few boxes into you and I with the glass exchange there, I posted a picture on one of my Instagram something or other with your information, and my niece texts me and she's like, you know that girl? I love her.
Oh my God.
So funny.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that. That's so funny. That's
exactly who you were when I put up the picture. She's like, I follow her on Etsy.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
It was crazy. So on to the framing.
Yeah.
Did you have any idea of how you wanted these to look? Like, are you putting them someplace specific where they have to match a decor, or are you just kind of going with it?
I don't really have any place specific, kind of leaving it open to how it ends up looking. We are having a little girl in a couple of months, and I will be decorating her nursery, and I'm trying to go with like a botanical theme. Go figure.
That is shocking.
So I definitely will want to put some of my artwork in there, and this might be a good fit in there, or else somewhere else in the house. I have like, this is really most of the artwork of mine that I have on display, and a lot of it is just like random. It's pretty random. So I'm excited to have something like official, pretty framed for real, to hang up somewhere so that we can enjoy it.
So because this is the 4 seasons, I was assuming you'd want them in one frame, or do you want them framed separately?
I would love to have them all together in one frame. I was kind of envisioning them straight across in like a horizontal row.
Like that?
Yeah, or it could be vertical. I think it would be smaller to go horizontal because they're taller than they are
Right.
wide. But I also wouldn't be opposed to like having them in a circle, yeah, like in a quadrant with spring,
Okay.
summer, fall, winter.
That was my question. Like, which season do you want to start with? Spring?
I usually start with spring in the top
Okay.
left,
Okay.
and then summer to the right of that, and then fall below summer, and then winter to the left of.
Oh, winter to the left.
Yeah. So yeah, like that.
Okay, cool. I'm so impressed that I figured out which flowers were the seasons.
I just realized that I didn't even tell you which was which. I mean, I think some of them, like the winter and the fall,
Right.
are obvious, but the spring and summer are a little more. They're both colorful and
So pretty. Okay, so for the purposes of this video, I'll leave it in this quadrant just so we can see them all.
okay.
But honestly, however you want it to be laid out, I can do anyway. So yeah, we can even if we decide that off camera, that's fine. Even if we decide like a month from now, you're like, wait, no, change it back. Okay, so when I first saw them and was thinking about, just what would be the best way to show them off, I was thinking just a plain white mat. On the inside, if you want to do a double mat, we could definitely do something really neutral, because I think if we go with picking out a specific color, because there's 4 different pieces, one might not get the love that the other ones do. So I feel like neutral's best when there's more than one. And that's just the color of the paper that you put these on. So nothing fancy there.
Yeah.
But you can even see, like, even if I just show the table underneath as if that were a mat, how it just kind of separates the matting from the artwork and it just pops it out.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want to see a double mat?
I think that would be awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, I think having a little bit of separation and contrast would definitely help them.
So picking out a neutral, that said, there's lots of neutrals. Is there a neutral that you would prefer to see?
So I actually kind of considered green, like a natural green, to be a neutral. I don't know if you would agree. Yeah. So something like that, I think, since that's pretty, like, that's very natural, with the pressed plants, and obviously like the winter one doesn't have any green. I guess the fall one doesn't either, but
they don't have green, but they still have green tones to them. Like, I think, like, if we pick like a really light sage or an olivey, like something like that.
For sure. Something that kind of mirrors the natural dried green color.
All right, so I have a green here that is more of like a grayish green.
Okay.
And it really goes well, obviously, with winter. Actually, it's going to go great with all of them. I think on the camera, it might look a little bit lighter than what it does to me, but let me get the darker version of it. So just so you know, and the viewers at home, anything that you want pictures of that I have a camera that I can take really good pictures that you can zoom in on, and I can email that to you. So if there's like 2 colors of matting, you don't have to choose everything right now.
Okay.
You can say, hey, those 2 mats, show me a picture, and I will. And then that way too, I know what I can put in for viewers to see as well.
Awesome.
Okay, so this one's a little bit darker.
Oh yeah, okay.
So it may look a little bit too gray on between, my camera and the wonder if I can,
Yeah, that's what I was wondering if it would be better on this camera.
Yeah.
It does look pretty gray on here, so I might have to take you up on the photo later, but I
Oh,
definitely would love to see both of those.
and then let me just grab a green. So these were gray greens. This one's called lichen and this one's called deep sage.
Okay.
If that helps anyway. And then we've got so this green to me is more in the, like the little
fern.
yeah.
Okay.
So I think green is a lovely choice for a neutral. So I think any of the greens that I've picked out are great.
Yeah.
Like I said,
I think they all look good with everything. So just like being able to see a close up would help solidify it, but I think you did perfect.
What I'll do is I'll take a picture of all three of them set up like this so you can see them next to each other and compare them.
Perfect.
I'll leave this one here though because I feel like that's the most green out of them.
Okay.
Okay, so for the frame, this is where, you know, the matting is kind of the easier part because the frame, I feel like you can really go in so many different directions.
Yeah, for sure.
So if you're unsure of what you want, you might be pretty sure about what you don't want. So at least let me know, like, don't show me any of this.
So I think I like definitely more simple, clean lines.
Okay.
Definitely more of the like angular wood. I like. Not really sure how else to describe it, but I always sort of gravitate more towards a simple frame that lets the artwork, you know,
Okay.
stand on its own.
So when I opened your envelope with these in it, because of the nature of the artwork and the fact that these are your originals, like I just think that a natural toned wood would be best just because it kind of fits in with what you have going on already. So I had a couple ideas in my brain.
Okay.
Okay, so first let's look at the thinnest one that I pulled out, and this is just a plain pine.
Okay. Okay.
That little black in there is just the Velcro that sticks to my wall.
Okay, gotcha.
So let's see if I can get that.
Yep.
All right, nice and simple.
It's like raw wood.
Yeah, I mean, it's finished in that it's been oiled, but it's like there's no stain, there's no color to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, gotcha.
And again, with this one, this is a little bit wider. So this is a nice little frame. It's really thin. So we do have to take into account that this is going to be bigger than just one by itself. Mm-hmm. So it might be a little bit too thin, but still a pretty finish. So if you like that finish, I can always find something wider.
Okay.
Let's see. Next. Now that is, again, the same as the other one in that it's not stained a color, but it is white oak. So you can really see a lot of the grain. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you can see that, but the knots in the wood are part of what is so great about this frame. So you might end up with one, you might end up with three.
Okay, gotcha.
And then I have a dark, this is stained a color, but it's a natural stain, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
That is a plain walnut.
Okay. I like the walnut. I usually gravitate toward walnut.
Me too.
And then love the oak as well. And I like the pine. I love how different types of wood can lend such a different look.
And they all look, that's the part, like none of these are wrong for these mm-hmm. pieces. Like, so I'm going to be of no help to you when it comes down to deciding. Okay, so this is the last one, which is totally different from the rest, in that it is whitewashed.
Okay. And
then the sides are white. So it's a little bit more contemporary, but it still has those clean lines.
Okay, gotcha.
And strike that. Those are all flat. This one, let me show you down here.
Angled?
Yeah, it's on an angle.
Okay. So it's sort of like beveled in, I guess?
Yep.
Okay.
And so that's that one. And,
Okay.
you know, just the whitewash looks really pretty with the art, but also the grain. Because of the whitewash, you really see the grain. So that was it. Those were the ones that I had thought of. So I'm that makes me happy.
Well, yes, I love them all. Oh man. I would say I usually gravitate toward walnut and like a walnut tone stain. Like the table that I'm sitting at right now, we built for our house. It's an oak table. I think it's red oak, but we stained it with a walnut stain. So it's like that dark brown.
Yeah.
Like what I always go for. Um, but yeah,
Any of these that you're not into, so I can set them aside?
um I would say probably of the four, the thin pine would be my last
Okay.
pick. Um,
Is it the width, but also the color?
Probably both, yeah. It's just kind of, and it's that Scandinavian thing that I do really like, but I think for this, something a little like stronger.
Yeah. All right. So the question is then, do you like these profiles? Do you want to see anything else in one of these finishes in a different profile, or do you want to start narrowing down?
I think those are pretty good. Because I think profile wasn't something that I so much mentioned, but definitely like 90-degree angles, like flat, thin, like thin in terms of not thick like the last one,
Right.
off the wall. So those look pretty perfect, and I definitely will have to get my husband's opinion as well. But I like those.
So then what I'll do is send you 3 pictures of mats, 3 pictures of frames, and then what you can do is, yeah, talk to your husband. I can always send you more too. Like if you want to see, you know, a different angle or something, totally we can do that. Which is fun because for the viewers at home, they don't know what you're picking out. Well, I guess they do because in 2 seconds they'll see it. But for me, it's really cool. All right. Anything else that you have questions about?
I guess one big question would be, can we use the UV glass to help with the color of the plants?
Yes. So when I send you glass, I send you all of the glass I send you is UV, but one is museum glass, and that's the one that's like so good. Is that the one you want?
I would absolutely love that one. Whenever that one comes up in the stack and I get to use it and I make a piece of artwork, I'm like, oh my gosh. Like,
Isn't it amazing the difference in glass?
I mean, they both look great. Like they both look better than normal glass anyway, and they obviously have the extra properties, but whenever the museum glass comes up in the stack, it's like, I think I have one, I don't know. It's that one up there, and there is a piece of normal glass on the back. So it's not totally free of reflection, but just like, it looks like there's not even a piece of glass on the front.
It's the best. It's so cool. Yes, definitely we can use that for sure. And I'll give you pricing in the email. I'll also measure and let you know how much each frame costs, and then I'll let you know how much the glass will cost you, so you can really have all the information, and we'll go from there.
Perfect. Sounds
all
great.
Right. We're done.
Yay.
That wasn't so bad. No. Thanks so much for being here with me.
Yeah, thank you so much this was fun, and I've never done something like this before, so.
Yeah, it's fun. All right, everybody at home, thanks so much for being here with us. Bye.
Bye.
Okay guys, so there is the frame. Isn't it gorgeous? Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. Oh, the light, you can't see it the way I can see it. It's gorgeous. So my problem with this project is the color that we chose for the underneath mat, which is this like grayish green color. It is so perfect with her artwork, but sometimes in custom framing, you run into little snags, which I'm assuming anyone who does any type of custom work out there totally knows this. So my problem is that this color that I have this much of has been discontinued by the manufacturer. So I have that little bit. Usually this multi-window opening would be cut the bottom mat, which is this. I'd cut the 4 openings and then I would cut the top mat. But because this piece is not long enough, I have to piece this. As in, I have to cut 4 pieces, cut individual mats, and then mount them to the mat. So it's a little bit more tricky, but it is the perfect color. Let's get to it. Okay, I just finished cutting out the bottom mat. So I cut these, and now what I need to do is position these on the top mat or under the top mat, and then cut out the windows so that you will see 1/4 of an inch of that underneath. All right, let's do it. So have you watched any of my other videos and wondered why, when I finish cutting this on the mat cutter, that the dropout is still attached? This is a manual mat cutter. A lot of newer shops and bigger shops use computerized cutters in that a computer plots the dimensions on the mat and then the computer cuts it. So I do not use one of those. Mine is manual. It's all pencils and chicken scratch. So that right there is the corner. I like to cut the very last hair, maybe, I don't know, less than a 64th. What's half of that? 1/28th of a piece. I like to cut that by hand. That way I don't get anything like an overcut, which looks like, I'll show you an overcut. So you see that tiny, tiny, tiny little, let's see if I can split it. The blade just went a little bit further than the corner. That is an overcut. Overcuts are okay if there's tiny ones, but generally you want to really have a perfect corner, which, so there's a super tiny, 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 and that's okay. I don't prefer overcuts, and so the way I guard against them is by leaving just a tiny bit of the paper intact and then cutting it by hand with the little razor blade. And so there we have it. And so there's no overcut there. So that's my preference. Like I said, it's not illegal. There are acceptable amounts of overcuts in matting. It's just my preference. But that's why I leave that little bit. So just to answer that for you, if you were wondering. Maybe you didn't even notice. Okay, so next is mounting the bottom mat to the top mat. They're very nicely sized. But now I have to trim. If you can see this, I have to trim that off because it hangs over. All right, so what'd you think? Came out really good, didn't it? Let me get the finished object here. So here it is, all finished, and I can't help but want to keep this. So yeah, it's beautiful. Please check out Carly's Etsy shop, KM Pressed on Etsy. You can also find her on Instagram at KM Pressed as well. And definitely look into her artwork. She does custom pieces, she has ready to ship pieces, and she does prints. I had such a great time picking out all of the design features of this piece with Carly, and it was pretty fun to frame too. So I think she's gonna love it. I'm going to ship this out to her, and yeah, so there we have it. Thanks for being here, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye guys.